Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Thank you for joining us on our Q&A.
You're a poet.
That sounded good, didn't it? I like that. I like that. Plenty of people coming on. Good, good, good. That's all what we like to see. I'm not quite sure what to say. How are you?
Can everybody hear me?
Well, yes. Sorry, yeah. Can everyone hear Louise? Yes.
Well, and you, obviously. Loud and clear. Yes, yes, yes. Thank
good.
you.
Very good. Thank you so much
Fab.
indeed. Yes, it's been a busy weekend. I don't know where the weekends go. Yeah.
Well, we worked Saturday.
That's what we did. We worked. I had to try and get my super sauce sorted out. We don't have anything on there. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, we worked
Saturday.
Saturday, had a client coming in with a stone I needed to look at. So we worked Saturday, and then we were there, so we thought we might as well just
And he didn't come in.
Yeah, but that happens, doesn't it?
He didn't come in.
That happens.
Yes.
So, what else?
It just seems a blur, the weekends. I don't know where they are. We went, did a bit of shopping on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've done a few little projects. I've been busy with that.
Oh, you have been busy, haven't you?
I packed my finger.
Yeah.
It's well and truly PUK'd. Yeah.
Yes, it cortisone. It cuts it and seals it at the same time.
It's
good, isn't it?
It's a bit like, did I catch myself? No, I didn't, but it really, and then when you look, it's, because I was a bit like, oh my God, it's cut and it's never going to close back up because it's sealed.
Mm. It will close up, it will heal itself.
I don't know, how will it?
It's the skin.
I mean, it's not a deep one, it's just the first one. So
it was just the spark, just the heat, wasn't it? That's all that was, really.
Well,
yeah. Yeah, because in theory you can't puck your finger because it's non-conductive.
Well, I don't know what's happened, but it's yes.
Your finger was right next to
my
the spark,
finger is
probably.
I won't say it again.
Well and truly packed.
Well and truly packed.
So, just very quick, someone's just asked, are we going to be at the jewellery show at Olympia this year? Yes, we are. Louise and I are going to be helping HS Walsh on their stand. It's going to be a good show because we've got Cookson there this year. Cookson haven't exhibited for many, many years. Betts are there, and also Walsh, and Louise and I are going to be on the Walsh stand. We're going to be there sort of promoting At the Bench and also demonstrating any of the tools that anybody wants to see on the stand. And we had a good show last year, didn't we, Lou?
Yeah.
It was good, wasn't it? We helped out quite a bit. You were very good with the gem testing equipment and diamond testers.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So that was very good. And I've been asked to do a bit on the GRS. So I'm going to be, hopefully over the next few weeks, genning up on some of my settings so I can have a go at doing some setting.
It's going to be good.
That's the theory. But it is going to be a good show with 3 people there, yes.
When is the Argentium workshop now, Andrew?
It is, go on atb.live. And
Why do you not know?
I can't remember. It's a month. It's a month's time.
Because even though I've seen it, I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
Yes. That one's live now. I have to adjust that. Scroll down.
Okay.
Let's scroll down. There you go, Nick. It's done something. There you are.
29th of July. Is that correct?
Well, that's what I've put down. 29th of July.
Hang on.
Or not? No?
Well, I've got workshop for the 5th of August on my schedule.
It'll be the 5th of August.
Let's liaise with Marky, see when she's free, and go from there.
Yes, so I expect it will be the 5th of August, not what I say down there.
Okay,
Is that
good.
all right?
Yeah,
Good.
so it might be 3 weeks, Amco. We've got to check to see when Marky's available. Hopefully she'll be here to help with answering questions in the chat. That would be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
Fab.
Good. Should we crack on?
Yeah.
1 second. Okay, good. Okay, so it's Monday, the 15th. It's the day before what would have been my parents' wedding anniversary. 16th of
Andrew.
July. It's also my sister's wedding anniversary as well tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, their anniversary was the same.
Yes.
Was that by choice or
I have
chance?
no idea. Can't remember. It was so long
We'll
ago.
have to ask your sister.
Well, my sister had been married like 45, 48 years. I think
Yeah.
I was about 13 at the time.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures
Yes.
with your little kipper tie.
And my oversized blazer that
Your
I was going to grow into. So I think, it must have been what am I now, 50 something. So that must be 46 years ago.
Wow.
That's amazing. They still look young. Okay, so it is the 15th of July. It's time for the Q&A. Louise, let's have our first question, please, Madeira.
Right, okay. Penny is having a break from a complicated make. Oh, what you making? Sandra's ordered the Durston Agile C110. Yay!
Nice.
That's cool.
You will not be disappointed.
Good. Penny, pair of earrings. Difficult curve and finding it difficult to attach the pearl cups. Ooh.
Send us a picture
Yeah.
and we'll help.
Okay. Anthony, overcast and bright. Oh, somebody asked about last week. Somebody asked about something you can polish metal and stones with.
Yes.
Yeah. You answer that then while I'm just finding a question.
The only thing you can polish stones with, I would have thought, is going to be something like diamond paste.
It was the pumice, wasn't it?
Yeah, pumice isn't going to polish. Pumice
Okay,
doesn't.
that's what I was thinking of. So there's
So pumice is, it's obviously, what is it on the Mohs hardness? 3, 4, something like that.
But it won't scratch.
No.
Provided your stone is above a Mohs 3, which
Yes.
obviously pearls.
No,
but you wouldn't
not
polish a
turquoise.
pearl anyway. You wouldn't try to.
No. I wouldn't go anything less than, say, topaz really, citrine, topaz, aquamarine. But yeah.
So what are they for then?
They are for tidying up claws.
Okay.
Usually, because you can come along, you can get the edge of the, you've got your stone coming around and use your facets around here. Your claw comes over, like that. And then you can get your pumice wheel in these areas here. And that's, you can get your pumice wheel in your like a 90-degree pumice wheel like that. And there's the shaft there. And you can just tidy up the edges here. And perhaps make them talon shaped if you want to make them nice and taloned. That would be the best way to do it. And they will obviously then take the metal and smooth the metal and slightly polish the metal, but it won't harm the gemstone that it's on, providing the gemstone is higher on the Mohs hardness than pumice.
Good. Okay.
Good. But if you want to polish gemstones, it depends. You would find it hard to polish faceted stones because you're going to round off the facets. The only way you could do that would be to have a cloth down with some diamond paste and just pull the stone back on the individual facets.
Even then,
But you're going to round them.
it does take the
but
sharpness off.
anything else stone-wise, you can use the that white polish that Ardy uses on the dual tool, and that will polish up some
Well, the
stones.
dual tool's ideal for polishing up a cab, isn't it?
The dual tool would be ideal for that. So that'd be the ideal candidate, and the white polish
We've
on
done
that.
that, haven't we? I've scratched I think it was an amber
Yeah.
setting it, and I've just whizzed it on the dual tool, and it's been better than it was before I scratched it.
Yes.
I mean, before, yeah. But better than that. If you've got a faceted stone, though, you can send it to AE Ward.
AE Ward, yes.
I've used them before to refacet. I think it was a spinel, and it looked like a bit of sea glass.
Yeah.
And they re-polished it, and it was
Nice,
just
wasn't it?
absolutely beautiful, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Yes. I got something wrong. Someone said people are conductive. Don't know about being able to puck. You won't puck your finger because the electrical current is not great enough to pass through to make a connection.
I think my finger was just too close, and then
It was in line with the spark, yes.
Smelled nice, made me hungry.
Oh,
Smelled like
that's disgusting. It's a disgusting. You know what it's like when you burn your skin. That certainly does not make you hungry. But
Well, perhaps you don't smell as sweet as me.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Let's have another question.
Linda, will you be at the jewellery show in September? Yes. We'll be there. We'll be on the Walsh stand. Sorry, chat just jumped then.
That's okay.
Yes.
Someone's asked me.
Congratulations, Andrew. Ooh.
Oh, someone's asked me, have I still found the Lion Punch Forge adapter for the hammer handpiece? No, I haven't. I don't know where it's gone. We all see this room. It's absolutely, this side of the camera is lovely and tidy. That side of the room is a mess, especially if I put together another jeweler's bench. We've got another bench over there now. It's not going to stay in here. We just put together the Pro Light workbench from Durston Tools. Just put that up together. That's going to be going out on YouTube and also on Durston's website later on this week. So that's the Pro Light workbench from Durston Tools. But no, I haven't found it. But as soon as I do find it, I will put it on the Q&A and I will announce it on social media as well that we found it. So I'm awfully sorry, Anthony, I haven't found it. Yes, Lou.
Linda's coming to say hi at the jewellery show.
Cool,
Yay,
excellent.
Please do. Are you two coming to Canada this summer? I don't think we're going to make it this year.
We can't make it.
Yeah, we're launching the diploma in September, so we just need to be concentrating on...
And also combined with the jewellery show as well.
Well, yeah, and that. So as much as we really wanted to, it's just, don't think it's going to happen this year. And September's a bad time with the new intake anyway, isn't it? You need to be looking after people.
So I think perhaps if we're going to do it, we're going to have to plan it for next year a little bit earlier, just so we don't have anything sort of conflicting in any other interests that are going to interrupt with our plans. So sorry, Sandra, it's not going to be this year, unfortunately. But it will be next year. I will make an effort to make sure that it is next year, definitely, yes.
Yep, okay. Julia, 2 days until the anniversary of getting engaged in 1988 when I was 17.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's nice.
Lovely.
Delma, I've got a quick question. After you pour an ingot, should you reel it before starting to roll it out or form it in any way to avoid cracking?
Okay, so a lot of people will get their ingot and start to hammer it.
Oh, anneal it, sorry. Should you anneal it? Yeah.
Okay, so no, once you've poured your ingot into the mold, it's effectively annealed, okay? A lot of people will come along and get a hammer and start to hammer it flat or hammer it square shaped or whatever. They say it compresses the molecules perhaps of the metal, but I personally haven't found that helps, because as you put the metal through the rolling mill, you're effectively doing what a hammer does and squashing the metal. So personally, I haven't found any benefit from hammering an ingot before you put it through the rolling mill. Obviously, once you've hammered it, you need to anneal it before you then put it through the rolling mill. So once you pour the ingot into the ingot mold, don't bother annealing it, it's annealed already. Put it straight through the rolling mill, and then after every few passes, then anneal it and put it through the rolling mill. That would be the best bet. Yes, Lee.
Good. Stuart says, I find when I'm soldering a thick, wide ring, even though the ends are tight together, the molten solder sometimes pulls away from the edge to leave a little indent. Any ideas how to fix?
You had this problem the other day, didn't you? The solder just didn't fill the edge.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So, what I would suggest...
Yeah, just kind of like wanted to be in the middle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, your band comes round and...
It's annoying, isn't it?
So, it sort of does that, doesn't it? It's sort of... there's like a little...
It was tight, but it was just didn't flow to the
end.
Yeah.
Didn't flow to the end. So I would say that is as a result of the two ends coming together and just opening up slightly. And it's like if you've got, I'm not quite sure how I can demonstrate it, but if you had, say, two panes of glass with some water in the middle, and as you pour the panes of glass away, there's not enough water to fill the gap. so it pulls away from the edge. So I would say that would be the reason the ends are parting a little bit. So the way around that would be to get some binding wire to just put around the ring, okay? So you put the binding wire around. You've only just got to put one piece around it. Now the trick is where the top of the ring is, and it comes around like this, okay? So there's your join there. Okay, your binding wire comes along. I would put something by here. It could be a little bit of silver away from the joint like that. Your binding wire comes along, goes over that and comes down. And then you just tighten the binding wire. You have the ends coming together and you twist it and pull it together. And because you've got a gap by here now, when you come to solder your joint, the joint will stay together. It can't come apart because the binding wire is just holding it together a little bit. Don't really tighten it. Make sure it's just coming together, just touch it. You put something on either side. It could be a little bit of silver, it could be a bit of steel, it could be some titanium strips on either side of the joint. That lifts the binding wire off the joint, which allows the solder then, if you want, to flow over, okay? If you didn't have those strips on top, your binding wire would come over, the solder would melt and it would attach itself to the binding wire. So just lift the binding wire up and it should solder stay closed and you won't get that little dip in your joints like that.
Cool.
Yes, Louise.
Anthony, what are the winning lottery numbers for this week? I wish I knew.
Oh, yes.
I wish I knew. Sandra, we might head to the UK for our 30th anniversary next year.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, please do. We'll check out Wills and drop in to say hello. Oh, please do. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
We can come and visit somewhere, can't we?
Yeah. Dances with Aardvarks. Any suggestions for a very low budget bench skin?
Bench skin. Pop online, you can get synthetic leather. You only need, you can buy them again from Durston. I think they're about £30–40. I think that's a lot of money. You can buy synthetic leather. It looks like leather, but it's not. And all you need, pleather.
Vegan leather.
Vegan leather. And you can then put holes in the front, middle and end of the sides, and then you can attach a bit of elastic to that and put some little cup hooks underneath your bench, and then you can do that. You can get your I know you can buy, what are they called, ferrules, you know, the punches that you can buy, Lou, that you can punch holes in things and then it lines the hole with like a brass ring.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, did you say that for me to look it up?
No, it's fine. Yeah, but that's what I did, just synthetic leather. It is cheap as chips. If you've got a fabric warehouse near you, go to them. You're only going to need obviously as much as the width as you want of your cutout, plus a little bit more. So
is mine triangular?
No, it is rectangular.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, and then obviously then as deep as you want it, and that's all you need. It's synthetic leather, pleather, any sort of material like that is what you need.
Jill said charity shop coat.
What for?
Your bench skin.
No.
No?
No. Well, if it's leather or pleather, yes. You don't want like a fabric one, anything like that. The dirt or the lemon will go through that and fall out at the bottom.
Ah, right, okay.
So it's got to be synthetic, like
it's
leather.
It's got to be waterproof or lemon-proof, I suppose. Yeah,
lemon-proof, waterproof. Yes.
I see. Exactly. Unless you can find a pleather coat in the charity shop. Just saying.
Pleather skirts, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to go. I'm not going further with that.
Okay. Good. Sandra says, would one of those ring clamp tweezer tools work for soldering that ring closed? Ooh, seam at the side, obviously, but could lay the clamp on its side so the seam is on top. Yeah, absolutely. We've done that in the past using the head and shank tweezers that are that sort of shape. Yeah, exactly the same thing. So we use them for soldering pieces in rings, we do. But yeah, anything like that is going to be able to hold the ring together. As again, people moan at these things saying, oh, it squashes the rings.
But it's because well, it's because they have the little slider and they push the slider too far up here, and there's too much pressure then coming down in this direction. The ring heats up, it gets hot, it gets slightly softer, and it gets squashed. You don't want to do that. You just want to move the slider up just enough, just to hold everything in place, and you won't have that problem.
Good.
Yes, Lou.
Good. Oh, Paul said grommets.
Yes.
And Julia said eyelet punch. Yeah.
Yeah, eyelet punch. Exactly what it is. Yes.
Thank you, guys. Janet says, can Andrew demonstrate again the trick with the third hand as he showed you on the weekend Shedio vid?
Okay. Yes.
This is the one for soldering a. Go on. Sorry.
Yes. Let's have a look. Let's come close to this one.
So we're soldering a ring shank to like a back plate then of a bezel.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah.
So.
Because I had a problem, well, I still have a problem with just getting it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, just getting it to go straight.
Yes.
And where I want it to go. So.
Yes.
This was your solution.
This is my solution. So the idea is you get your, try and get into it, get your ring clamp like that, okay? And just come a little bit wider so we can see. Wider. There, okay, cool. And we're going to try and get a ring. Ring. So there's my ring, okay? And I'm going to solder that onto, there we go. So we got, say this is what we're going to be soldering the ring onto. This is that bit of Kembu that we did a long time ago. So the idea is you now will get your tweezers and you will make sure that your ring goes into the tweezers. Okay, nice, like that. Make sure now that the ring is vertical and it's not lopsided like that. So make sure the ring is nice and vertical.
Can I just say my problem specifically is I filed a little flat area.
Yeah.
On the shank, which is going to take the solder.
Yep.
But then when I put the solder on it, I can't really see exactly where I've used too much solder, haven't I? I've just thought, okay.
Yeah. So the idea is, yes, well done, Louise. You cracked this straight away.
Myself.
So here's your ring shank, okay? And the idea is you've got the ring shank and it's sort of that sort of profile. So it's to increase the surface area between soldering a plate on the top to the shank. What you want to do is file a flat. Okay, that will increase the surface area, which will increase the strength. You then sweat solder your solder on the top. If you use too much solder, like Louise does, your solder will basically do that. And you won't really see now where your... I wasn't having a go.
No. I've just, as soon as I started asking the question, the answer appeared in front of me.
So you've used too much solder. So the idea is you use a very small amount of solder. So the solder just sort of does that. And then now you can still see where your area is, okay? If you've used too much solder, you can always file it down a bit. Obviously, it's very hard. Perhaps what might be a good idea would be to put a little mark, perhaps, on the shank where you filed, so you know that between those points, when you turn the ring upside down, this way, that's the inside, that's the outside, and it's flat. You know if there's a mark there and there's a mark there, you know now that has to be exactly, or just put a centre mark here. So you know that centre mark now has to be, because sometimes, as you say, when you've done it, you may have actually got the flat over here.
And then it collapses over to the side.
Yeah, and because
it wants to go to the flat, and then it's on the wonk.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what I'm having.
So the idea would be, you've got the ring, okay? You have got the. Let's try and zoom in a little bit closer so you can see on this. Here we go. There we go. So the idea is you get the ring. You get the ring so it is just touching. All right, here. So the idea is now you literally lift up your third hand. I'll do exaggerated. Lift up your third hand, pull the ring down a little bit. Okay, so you're not pulling the whole thing down like this. You're actually pulling it so it's moving at the third hand. So when you come along and rest the ring back into place, providing your ring is nice and tight in your third hand. Okay, so that's touching. I lift the third hand up this way Okay, so the base is still attached on here, but I've raised it there. Drop it down about 1 millimetre or so and bring it back into place, he says. My tweezers aren't really holding onto the ring very well. So the idea is now you should have a gap under this part of your third hand. Yeah, as you can see, it's not touching the bench by here. So when you heat this up and your solder melts, okay, let's bring this back into place. So when your solder melts, there's the base here. What's the pen I was using? The pen, I threw it in there. When the solder melts, because there's pressure on this ring pointing downwards, it will force that flat onto the back and the solder will flow. That's it. As simple as that.
Good.
Got that?
Yep. I'll try that.
Good. I have another question then.
Okay. Linda says, have you ever used stamps on molten pebbles, or is it better to stamp when the pebble is cooled?
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't tried stamps on molten metal, and I see no reason why it wouldn't work. I suppose if the head of the stamp is small, so say you've got your punch coming down like that, and this is your letter sort of raised on here, and then you've got a molten bit of metal. If you push this down, what you may find, it may end up doing that. So you'd have an actual imprint of the side of the punch as well, if that makes sense. Because it's not going to squash completely flat, because it's only this portion pushing down into the metal. So if you want to have a nice even blob, well then squash it down first once it's molten, then when it's cooled down, then I would use your punch, and then you can be sure you just get the area that you're going to be punching down into the metal. So it is a good idea. Don't know how it would work, but I think stamping it when it's cold would be better. Yes.
Cool.
Yes, Lou.
Okay. Jim, great to see Louise and Andrew again. Oh, good. Thank
you.
Good. We all need to have an Andrew in the studio for times like that. Yes. Well, you have on At the Bench, haven't you?
You have, yes.
Yeah.
And on these days as well.
And if you're an At the Bench member, don't forget you can always approach Andrew with a query on a project or a technique or anything that you want advice on regarding jewellery making. He's there for you as part of your membership.
Thank you.
Stephen says, I'm working with some metal clay at the moment and I'm thinking of attaching / soldering details onto the fired part. What grade of silver and solder should I use considering the assay quality?
So I think, I know it's fine silver, but it's never going to be hallmarked pure silver, because you're going to have to be adding things to it. You're going to have to be adding jump rings. You're going to have to be soldering things onto it, posts and whatever. So you'd have it stamped as 925 if you're in this country, so it'd be 925 parts. It would be classed as sterling silver. What you've got to remember is that metal clay is a clay with silver in it. As you fire your metal clay, all the organic binder that is within the clay will burn off. I am starving.
I knew you were going to make your analogy and you're going to make me want to buy a chocolate.
I'm actually starving. So, when you see metal clay and it's been fired, it looks solid, okay? So if you have a whisper bar or a crunchy, it looks very similar to, say, a Yorkie bar, okay? The outsides look completely solid, but the insides are not. So what you will find is that with a fired piece of metal clay, it's quite porous. So what you'd have to do is either try and burnish that metal clay down to try and compress it, so you squash all those little air bubbles out of it, or what you'd have to do is use more solder than what you would normally do, because the solder is going to be sucked into the metal clay because of all the little microscopic pores and holes in it. So more solder than what you actually need. I would have thought, because you're going to be soldering it, you're going to have to be using sterling silver solder, so just use sterling silver jump rings or sterling silver post or whatever it is, but be prepared to keep adding a little bit more solder than what you would normally do as if you were soldering that jump ring or whatever it is onto a solid piece of metal.
Good.
Yes, Lou.
Good, good, good. Sandra says, you're such a good spatial thinker on the spot, Andrew.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are actually.
I do try my best.
Good. Any more questions? We'll wait a minute for them to come
We'll need to
through.
have Andrew in the studio. Yes. Yes. So I announced yesterday, I'm not quite sure whether you all saw our quick live that we did. Louise was doing her labradorite stone.
Or labradorite.
Labradorite
I like
stone.
labradorite,
And she was embarrassed to show it yesterday, and I don't know why, because it was really good.
It was a work in progress.
But today, I came down, because I've been filming up here today, that bench, and I went downstairs and Louise went, oh, look what I've done. And I went, oh my gosh, that's really good. And I honestly really meant it.
Don't sound so surprised. I don't know who was more surprised, me or you.
I'm not just saying that, because yesterday you were embarrassed to show that, and I thought there was nothing wrong with it.
It was just, do you know, like sometimes when you're in the middle of something and I had solder all over the back of it because of the question I just asked you, and I wasn't happy with it. I thought it looked a bit clumsy, but I finessed it a little bit now, I think, and yeah, I'm a bit more happy with it.
I was surprised.
Not quite finished, I
was surprised to see it, and you've really sort of turned it around from what you thought you were a bit weren't really happy with it because of the bezel. You turned it around into something really nice. I really like it, and I honestly mean that.
Well, the last two things I've made, I've kind of got to a stage where I finished them as I thought I was going to finish them in my mind's eye, but then when I finished them I haven't really liked them, so I've just changed something about them so that I like them, because if I don't like them then there's nothing really much to lose, is there? Then, oh, thank you, Marina. Oh,
it really was good. And
thank you.
Yeah, so if anybody hasn't seen that, just pop back on YouTube, and we did a live on Sunday, didn't we?
Yeah, but it wasn't finished then.
It wasn't. I know it wasn't finished, but I'm sure you will show it over the next few days when you finish it.
It's pretty much finished.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a simple 20-minute live from the Shedio, which is a simple summer house at the end of our garden, isn't it? That we just got a bench and that we're trialling for Durston, and you've got your bits and pieces in there. And it's nice just to sit in there, isn't it?
Well, the idea is going back to basics, isn't there? And just doing things with a simple toolkit.
Yeah.
Just a simple bench, just your butane torches, and just seeing what can be made from that without the PUK, without
all the big equipment that we got here.
Yeah, because you can make lovely things.
Oh my gosh.
With the basics. So yeah, and that's my other thing. I've been playing with the Argentium, haven't I?
You have, yes.
So yeah, I've been doing things with Argentium that I really couldn't have done in sterling.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Or it might not have been impossible, but would have been quite untidy.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I can't wait for you all to see the Argentium workshop now, because I can't wait to see everybody else's ideas and what you're all going to do.
Exactly. Jill was asking, when is it?
It's probably going to be the first Monday in August.
Yes.
I would think. I'm going to give Marky a shout and see when if she's going to be free to just hop on the chat with us, because that would be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that will be a workshop in the same sort of style as previous workshops, but it won't be me demonstrating live. It'll be the recording of me and Marky going through the workshop, and I will be available to chat then in the chat, Louise, and also we'll try and get Marky Deward on the chat as well, and she can answer all your Argentium questions.
I think it's going to be a really good way of presenting it. Because you'll be available
on the chat as well.
On the chat, yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. Good. So that's the Argentium through. Yes. Oh, thank you, Penny. Thank you for all your time and information. Started watching you a few weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
thank
cool.
you.
Oh, thank you.
That's really kind. And yeah, it's good to have a play with, because you were trying to do a certain technique with granulation and with fusing, and that is the perfect, two of the perfect techniques that Argentium surpasses normal sterling silver.
I've made a really little sweet pair of earrings. I've got them in the pickle downstairs, and it's taken me
A fraction of the time.
Literally so quick, so clean.
It is. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's good.
Brilliant. I absolutely love it.
It's good, and we've ordered some today as well. Also, just to let you know that if you watch the Argentium workshop, obviously more details are going to be coming soon. You buy your ticket for it and so forth. Anybody then who watches the Argentium workshop can have free membership to the Argentium Guild, and also you can get 10% off any Argentium that you buy through the Guild. Argentium is a little bit more expensive than sterling silver if you buy it from other places, but if you buy it through the Argentium Guild, with their 10% discount, it works out the same price or even cheaper than sterling silver. So that is for you. So basically, the membership I think is £25 for membership to the Argentium Guild, and you also get your coupon codes that you can get 10% off. So even if you've got to pay for the workshop £15, you get £25 membership, so you save £10, and then you get saved £10 on all your Argentium, which is cheaper than Cookson. Just putting that out there. Good.
Okay, good. Sandra says, I like jewellery with a bit of an organic look, with softened warble edges, etc. My own work sometimes feels too tight / structured. Any ideas how I can relax / free my mindset?
Well, I'll let you answer that, Louise, because that's the problem exactly that you have.
Well, I don't even know what you gave me the other day, because I made a band and I said, how can I just loosey-goosey the
edges?
Where did it say? I gave it to Rachel, didn't I? She fancied it, so she had it. There's a picture on Instagram.
Yes.
And Facebook, I think.
Yeah.
And it was two bands, and they were just, I don't know, like exactly that. I felt they were too
rigid,
too structured, So what was the tool?
Okay, so I gave you a grinding wheel.
Okay.
That's on the store. It's a pink grinding wheel. But you can use a coarse sanding drum.
Well, the grinding wheel did it faster.
Yes.
So I literally just went across the edge with the grinding wheel and just made some undulations. Yeah. And it's not the most terribly efficient way, because you're taking metal off, but I suppose as long as you're saving your Lemel, then it does throw up a little bit of swarf.
Lemon in your face?
I mean, you should be wearing eye protection anyway with any rotary instruments, so yeah, but it does kind of spit it around a little bit. So a mask is probably in order as well.
Definitely.
So I did that, and then I took the sanding drum and it does make it a little bit sharp. So you do need to just smooth that off with a sanding drum, and I just polished that, and it looked almost like a molten sort of edge, because I had a matte, and then I just shined up the loosey-goosey edges. Yeah, and I thought it looked really cool. So yeah, that's how I do it. I just kind of do that kind of... Exactly. And I did think, I spent ages sanding this and getting it nice, and I'm just taking a big rough hole. But it looked cool. I thought it looked cool anyway.
So we have the sandpaper rolls on the store. If you want to find these out, Lou, and put them in the chat if you want to.
Oh, sandpaper.
We have the sanding rolls, but we've also got the sanding drums as well. The drums Back home?
I should be okay. Sorry. Oh, we're back. Are we back?
Yeah. So paste that in.
So that's the corundum. Sorry, guys. Are we back?
Yes, we're okay.
Okay,
The
good.
levels
Thank
are
you,
fine.
Amco.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
So those are the sanding drums, and with the drums, you scroll down that page, Mila, on the bottom.
Just hang on, I've
Scroll
just
down.
gone back.
And there's the mandrel that you need as well. That one.
That
there.
one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, on the bottom of the page, frequently bought together. There's the mandrel.
Oh, so the mandrel's there, so you can
Yeah.
buy it from
They're good
there.
because the option is should be about an 80 grit. So select an option then. Yeah, so 80 grit is really, really coarse, and that's a brilliant way to get the nice scalloped edge. You didn't use that.
Well, my edges were
A grinding
a bit
wheel.
more dippy, so I used the grinding wheel.
That's on there as well.
Is it?
Yes, it is. So the grinding wheel's on there as well. Yeah.
Where am I going with this? It's not on this page though, is it? So that's the sanding drum.
There's the sanding
So you'll need
drums. The
them
sanding
to
drums are still good because they will then slowly just sort of tidy that up.
They're just fabulous for absolutely everything, aren't they?
Of course they are.
Lou, never heard a word about sanding drums. Oh my God, they're a game changer.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And then there should be grinding wheel, and they're pink. So just picking grinding wheel. Click, no, click, 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 click. Anything
oh,
not pink, is that on the left?
That one.
That one there, yeah.
Is that what I had?
Yours was pink, but that's
Okay.
what you had.
Yeah, it does throw up
Yeah,
quite
it
a
does.
lot, doesn't it? So, like I say, always wear your eye protection.
Yeah.
With
And
any
those
rotary
are the grinding
tool.
wheels.
Yeah.
So the sanding belts and the grinding wheel are really coarse, and they're going to get very, very quick, like sort of scalloped edges, aren't they? So that's like that. But yes, so they end up having your sort of scalloped edges around the outsides of the ring like that, as opposed to having the ring just simple flat. And you can do the scallops in whichever way you want. You can have the scallop like that, like that, like that. Yeah. So they're really good. You loved it, didn't you?
Fabulous, yeah, good fun. Yeah, so just don't forget to smooth it over though, because it does make it quite sharp.
Yeah, and make sure you save your lemon.
Yeah. Penny, I'm really looking forward to the Argentium workshop. It will make some projects so much easier. Do you know what? It's such a game changer.
Mm.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just we've already ordered more. 'Cause
Argentium.
I love it.
Really good. Fusing especially.
Yeah.
Beautiful finish.
It is great.
Yes.
Really, really great. James has been working with it and love it. Cool. Thank you for the priceless information. As always, love the life. Oh, thank you.
This thing with Argentium, I've always been a little bit scared to use it because I've heard sort of bad things about it, because I think Argentium 935 sort of had a bit of a bad press, didn't it? Because when you heated it up, it sagged if you didn't support it. There were lots of things about it. But the gentleman's name is Robert James. I can't remember the gentleman's name.
Peter?
Peter, who developed Argentium. Is it Peter? I can't remember now. He has developed and he's constantly updating the alloy, and now it's 940 Argentium.
Peter.
Thank
It
you.
is
Peter Johns.
I was right.
Peter
Yeah.
Johns. Now it's 940 Argentium. It's vastly improved. It doesn't sag as much, but you still got to take care with it. And I've always been a bit sort of, well, I haven't got time to learn how to approach a new material. Like platinum, it's completely different. You need all different tools and everything that way. We're not going to sort of tell you too much about it, could be spoiling the workshop. But I was blown away by how simple and how effective it was. Nothing like what I thought. I was going into the workshop going, do you know what? I don't think I'm going to want to learn to do this, because it's completely alien to what I'm used to. We're going to have new tools, a different approach, a way of doing things. But literally within the first half an hour, I was sold on it.
It's cool, isn't it?
It really
it's
was.
really, really cool.
Absolutely.
Good. Do you need special solder for Argentium?
You can have Argentium solder if you want to solder Argentium to Argentium, but you can use normal solder if you want to solder Argentium to Argentium or Argentium to sterling. You can use normal solder.
It's very versatile.
Very versatile.
Very versatile. James says, just think the amount of people have said to me, I like that piece of jewellery, I can't wear it as I have allergic reaction. Yes, that's the other great thing about Argentium, isn't it? Is the hypoallergenic properties. Yes. Cool. Oh, that's why people were saying congratulations, your book. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Lou. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll say it again.
This is brilliant, as you say in the UK.
Brilliant. Yes. So a book publisher approached me a couple of months ago and said, "Can we commission you to write a book?" I've had ideas. I've got like a half a dozen ideas for different books on jewellery. They haven't really got off the ground. I haven't really had much time. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to hold back and see what happens. Well, I'm pleased to say that a publisher has approached me and has said, Andrew, write a book on jewellery. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing it with the help of lovely Louise. And she's going to be the person in the pictures that we're going to be doing. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be all about just yet. But I had free reign of whatever I wanted to do, which was very nice. So I'm doing it, and I'm about 2/5 of the way through already. I want to try and get it sorted out by early next year, because it takes about 8 months then to go through the whole process to get it finally published. So I would love to get it done in time for Christmas next year. That's my plan. But yeah, it's going to be really good.
Okay,
Just
good.
keep an eye on social media beginning of next year, and you'll be able to see what it's all about.
Good.
Excellent.
Oh, Lou, sorry, Lou. I know I meant when Andrew was on the board. That's when she didn't hear the sanding drum. She's obviously heard a sanding drum. So yeah, apologies. Are people allergic to Argentium or sterling? People generally, if they have a reaction, it's to 925, isn't it, sterling?
Yes.
But there are no known recorded reactions that we know of. How did Marquis phrase it? There's at some point somebody in the world
at some point
will probably have a sensitivity to it, but at the moment generally it is
hypoallergenic.
Yes, and certainly more so than 925.
Yes, due to the germanium that is within it.
Yeah.
That comes to the surface.
Yeah, good. I mean, what you could do, I suppose, as a test is just maybe make up something for somebody to borrow. If you've got a client who doesn't want to, obviously not earrings, but you could give them a pendant to wear for a week on loan.
Yeah, to see
if they pay a deposit and see how they react to it, then might be a good way to
be a good idea.
To sell Argentium, and then once they can wear that, they're going to come back to you for lots of other things, aren't they?
Very good. I like the idea.
Yeah, thanks. Good. When you go Argentium, you don't look back. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it, James. It's fab. Really different in casting. Yeah, we haven't tried casting it yet, have we?
Not yet, no. We haven't had enough scrap yet.
I used the old Argentium several years ago, overheated my piece and it crumbled into pieces.
Yes.
Yeah. It's weird because I did a ring and that, I think I picked it up too soon.
Yeah.
And it literally just fell apart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is one thing you have to think about. It doesn't behave the way silver does in some
respect.
But in other respects, it's very, very easy to work with. So,
absolutely.
Is it any different in the rolling mill after melting?
Haven't tried it yet, but I was told. Okay. So I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to be telling you too much from the workshop. So I'm not going to say anything. You're just going to have to wait for the workshop. Because I'm not going to say anything more because you're asking me questions that I asked Marquis in the workshop. So if I tell you these answers, you're not going to watch the workshop. So I'm not going to tell you the answers. You're going to have to watch the workshop. There you go. I told you.
Good. Linda, how do you market Argentium to the public when they have never heard of it? This is an interesting one, isn't it? Because yes. I think, in my experience, if I said Argentium to one of our customers, they'd go, what's yeah, like you say, they've never heard of it. They might even be a bit suspicious of it if you're not saying, because people always say, is it sterling silver? And you could say, no, it's Argentium silver, and they won't necessarily think it's any better.
It's
or
not as good as.
Yeah, because certainly in our area, if you say 925, it's the standard, isn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, how would you?
A lot of the time, because
would you just call it hypoallergenic silver?
Marquis was saying there's a lot of silver out there that is Argentium that isn't even classed as Argentium. They just still call it sterling silver.
So is it just hallmark 925 unless So you could still just call it hypoallergenic sterling silver.
Yeah, you could. Yes. Yeah.
And then, like I say, give them a test piece. Just make up a very simple
because it will still be stamped 925, because as soon as you solder anything onto that Argentium, even though it's 940, and you solder anything onto it, it's obviously still going to be hallmarked then 925.
It's probably a good idea though to have the distinguishing hallmark for the Argentium pieces if you're selling sterling as well, so you can distinguish between your hypoallergenic pieces and perhaps your less hypoallergenic pieces.
I would have thought, providing it's all Argentium. As soon as you start to add sterling.
So if you add a silver solder, does it not get?
I don't think it would, no.
Okay.
I don't know. We'd have to
We'll
find
have to
out.
ask Marie in the
It's
assay
a
office.
question to ask in the chat, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it's 940 Argentium, we sold a silver on it, can we still have, because it's a unicorn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or
you just go with the Argentium solder, I guess, don't you? If
Yes.
you're worried about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll find out from
Good.
assay office.
Georgia says, I'm working on a sterling and Argentium chain, sterling square wire paper clip links and Argentium round links. Any tips? That sounds lovely. Any tips before I start pulling it all together?
I don't think you need any tips. You can just solder it as you want. I don't see there'd be any problem with either way. Save your question.
Be lovely.
Save your question for marking in 3 weeks' time.
Cool.
Yes.
Good. Laura says, I've been using Argentium since I started rather than sterling. When I use sterling, it's just not as good a result. Especially the finish, it doesn't get as shiny and bright as Argentium.
It could be, that could be due to some fire scale, because usually fire scale, you have to break through the fire scale to get back through to the silver, and then it will give the shine that silver does. I think silver is one of the most highly reflective metals out there. So yeah, it is going to be highly shiny, reflective. I think it could well be the fact that you have got fire scale upon the sterling, which you haven't got through, but as Argentium, when you heat it up, does not produce fire scale, it polishes straight away. And if you have the same technique on sterling as you do with Argentium, you may find that you're just trying to polish up the fire scale that's on the surface, so it's still slightly dull and cloudy and grey and purpley. But as soon as you file that away or buff that away, you should be getting through to the silver underneath, which then should be nicely reflective.
Good. Okay.
You could call it tarnish resistant silver.
Yeah. Just list the benefits that
That it has.
Okay. Argentium is sterling. Yeah, it would be marked down to the
925.
It's the 925. Yeah, it's always marked down to the next hallmark, isn't it? Sterling silver and the 925 stamp just means it's minimal. 92.5 silver, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
You can get the stamp. Oh, okay. Sandra, I have some Argentium wire. My friend can't wear sterling. Ready is within minutes.
Wow.
I'll make some EOIs for her today and test it.
Brilliant. Let us
Cool.
know.
Oh, yeah, let us know.
I like this.
Will it work harden like sterling?
It does. Again, I'm not going to give too much away because there are some.
Well, she wants to make the earrings today, Andrew, so help her out.
Yes, you can work harden it. It's softer than sterling, okay? So when you try and work harden sterling, you would perhaps work harden it in a specific way. But when you try to work harden Argentium, you have to, however way you've work hardened it, you got to do it like twice. So for argument's sake, you are twisting a needle wire to harden it. Perhaps you will only give a sterling eel wire half a turn to harden it. With Argentium, you may have to give it a complete turn. It is softer, so you're going to have to burnish it a little bit more than what you would do if it was sterling. I can't give too much away, Louise.
No, and I nearly said something else then. So okay. Yeah, no, but please do let us know how that goes because that'd be interesting. James is saying, I contacted Birmingham Asset Office about Britannia silver and sterling solder. They said it will pass the grade for Britannia.
Oh, no, that's
cool.
interesting.
I mean, they are brilliant. If you contact them with a query, they're great. In Birmingham, they'll tell you exactly what the score is. David, you can only sell up to 7.2 grams in a piece that you stamp yourself. over 7.2, it has to be assayed.
7.78, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. Sandra says, I love it for pinning. The balls stay nice and smooth.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, it's lush, isn't it? Good.
Oh gosh, that was my throat, that was. Sorry. Pardon me.
Close the Argentium rings first, Julia says, then connect the chain using sterling paper clips, links, and solder those closed, keeping the joint as far away from the Argentium as possible so it doesn't fuse. Yeah. Yeah, it depends if you're going to use solder or fuse the Argentium.
Yeah. So what you've got to do, you've got to use...
Will Argentium fuse to sterling then?
No.
No.
So you've got to fuse Argentium first and then you solder.
Yes.
Because fusion is at a higher temperature than soldering. So if you are soldering, it won't fuse to the Argentium, but you do have to keep the joints away from the Argentium in case the solder flows onto the Argentium. Yeah. So if you are going to, fusion is better, it's stronger than the soldering, but you can solder the Argentium or you can fuse it. But if you're fusing it, fuse it first and then solder afterwards.
Yeah. It's similar to the things I've got in the pickle now because it's an earring with embellishments fused, so I can put the back on and not worry about...
And you'd solder the back on.
I'll solder the back on then, yeah.
Exactly. Nice.
So yeah, it's good. It opens up a whole new world. It's brilliant. I love it. Anthony says, maybe we should just talk about the weather to avoid giving away any Argentium secrets.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything more.
I know, we can't wait. We can't wait to share it all with you. So exciting. Judging by all these questions and comments, this is going to be one heck of a workshop. Yes.
It will.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's so good. I'm sold already. James says, as long as my alloying is correct and not under, they are good. I contact them regularly for any advice for things like that. Yeah, they're great. Oh, Gillian, have you tried Mexican silver? Is it 925?
I don't think it. I think it'd be very difficult to get that hallmarked, wouldn't it? Because you can't tell what Mexican silver is, even though they may say it's 925. There's still no guarantee that it's going to be 925. Even though it's stamped Mexican silver, I don't think really has an absolute standard, does it? It could be anything. It could be 920. In that case, it wouldn't pass any hallmarking at all. So if we got any Mexican stamped silver in our scrap, I would never use it. I'd always send it off to a precious metal reclamation specialist to turn it into sterling silver or give us the money for it.
I quite like a lot of the Mexican silver designs are really cool though.
Yeah,
so
they are.
you don't really, when it comes our way, generally I tend to fish them out. And
under 7.78 grams, you're fine.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yes.
Good. Beth says, I have a doctor's appointment on the day of the Argentium workshop. If I pay for it and can't watch it, can I watch later? Yes, you can.
Yes.
You can watch. If you're an At the Bench member, then it's included in your membership anyway. So they're all on the At the Bench website under the workshops tab for you to watch anytime you like. They're all there for you. If you're not an At the Bench member but you fancy a workshop, you can
pay £15.
Yes, and you can watch it live. Or if you're not a member of At the Bench, all the workshops are there for you as well. You can just pick and pay as you go workshops. But it is probably cheaper to, if you're going to be watching lots of workshops, the memberships are going to be a more cost-effective option for you because it's £20 for the month, and you can watch a workshop a day, can't you, for a whole, and just binge watch them. Or a yearly membership is better value because you get all the past workshops and every workshop that's going to be in the future as well.
Exactly, each month.
So yes.
It's like binge watching on Netflix, isn't it? It's binge watching on Berryflix.
Membership, yes, thank you, Amco. Membership also gives a lot more than the workshops. There's something like 1,700 now. Films, tutorials, projects. Thanks, Amco. It's wonderful. Yeah. So discuss, would you call yourself a silversmith or an Argentium smith?
Silversmith still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Should we end there? Bang on 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I'm going to go and get my bits out the pickle. See what they look like.
Just to let you know, we won't be here next Monday.
Oh yes.
We're going away.
Penny says best membership going. Yay!
Thank you, Penny.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so there's no Q&A, there's nothing next Monday, I'm afraid. So you've got a week off. Buy yourself a membership to At The Bench. Binge watch your workshops and everything else if you want to, because we're not here next week. And if you want to get a fix of Louise, that's the best way to do it. Well, no one wants to watch me. Yeah, watch the workshops. They see you. You're the best. You're the best thing.
You're the expert, aren't you?
Yeah, but you're pretty good. You're pretty good. You're lovely looking. You are.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. When is the next workshop? It's scheduled for. We think it's going to be the first Monday in August. I'm going to check with Marky to see if she can join us for the premiere.
Yes.
Remotely. So we'll come back to you, but that's when we think it's going to be.
The 5th of August.
But I'll just check that she's going to be available. And maybe Peter as well. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And as soon as we know, we'll be put it on social.
Yes.
We'll give you at least a couple of weeks build up to this, because I think it's going to be a really, really good workshop. Everyone asks, like virtually in every Q&A, people have been asking about Argentium, and I've gone, hands up, I have no idea. But I've got a bit of an idea now.
Yeah.
And the more you work with it as well, you're going to become an expert in that, with the way you keep on playing around with it, which is the only way to do it, isn't it? Is to practice, to play with it, see how it cuts, see how it rolls, see how it work hardens, see how it barrel polishes, see if it fuses, see if it solders. It's brilliant. You just have a nice play around, and don't do anything too big. Just keep it nice and small. Granulation. I was blown away by it. So it's going to be a really, really good workshop.
Start simple.
Oh yeah, nothing can say that. Right, good. Everyone, take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll let you know for definite when this workshop is going to be, but we've penciled it in for the 5th of August. We're going to get in touch with Marky DeWard to make sure that she can come on, and also if Peter Johns can come on the chat as well, and you can ask all your questions. Good. No workshop next Monday. We'll see you the following. Yeah, sorry.
No nothing.
No nothing.
No nothing,
No
sorry.
Q&A next Monday. Do apologise. So we will see you 2 weeks, which is going to take us up to the 30th of July, I do believe. No?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
30th of July? No, 14 on 15, 29th of July.
Yeah. Yeah, in that area.
In that area, yeah.
In that area.
So we will see you 29th of July. Obviously, we'll be doing a live from the Shedio again, not this Sunday, but we will still do it when we come back the following Sunday.
I'll have to get some other project on the go, won't I, to get your advice?
Between now and then, absolutely. So everyone, take care, enjoy the rest of your week, keep an eye on all our socials, and I try and get Louise to post that picture of that lovely labradorite ring, because she's done something really fantastic with that. So everyone, take care. Say goodbye, Louise.
Bye.
Everyone, take care. We will see you all very soon. This way, Louise, did you want to say anything? I've just cut you off there.
No.
Did you want to say anything?
I don't think so. Just have a lovely week, 2 weeks.
Lovely 2 weeks, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Everyone, take care. Bye-bye.